Mukti, I wanted to thank you for your letter. You know, something that arises at times of opening when one is very deeply feeling the clarity. It can come forth that I just want whatever comes down the pike. I don't want what feels good. I just am ready for anything. It is a very different thing when one is going through the depths of fragility. So in this period of profound humbling, this letter comes forth. That all I want is for you to expose whatever needs to be exposed. Doesn't matter if it's humiliating, and I would prefer it at Satsang because it is more frightening to the conditioned mind. This is a point that happens in the journey for everyone if you're destined to be free. Something that's well recognized when there is the feeling of being deeply connected. But when everything within you is feeling raw and fragile, and this same thing comes forth, this is true humility. True humility does not come out of the character. It comes out of the self. When you are connected with the self at times of great challenge, then it is really truly rooted. There has been a recognition of an idea that I am awake because there has been a groundedness in that which is present and a taste of a joy that is unending. And then the subtler levels are seen that the thought I am awake is arrogance. But at this point, the arrogance wants to be exposed in what the ego would see as the most fragile environment, where there is the readiness to receive, not knowing what is going to be offered. This is the deepest beauty to me. Statement coming forth, I am not wanting praise, I am wanting to be ripped apart. But when you are wanting to be ripped apart, this is the time that one receives praise. The pull here with you has hit a whole new level because there was an unseen veil Even though there was a rootedness in this beauty, there was an unseen veil that is now being disassembled. And in that, the draw intensifies so greatly. When there is a readiness to be humiliated in the deepest way, when the sense of vulnerability is at its greatest, then you have discovered true strength. True strength is not in the individual, it is in yourself. Which is the most humble of all. As opposed to wanting it to feel comfortable, for me, it shifts 180 degrees. That when it is raw and fragile, you just want it to be ripped apart, no matter what that may look like. Because there is a recognition that what is frightening and fragile is only a phantom in the face of when it is making all kinds of noise and feeling so unprotected. It is when the truth and the beauty overtakes the conditioned need for survival. It is a guarantee at a certain juncture of the journey can see in your face there has been an enormous amount of purging and movement that has been very aggressive and intense. Face looks worn, and yet there is a softness that is new. Feels kind of like a beetle that has had its shell torn off. The habitual protection of armor is gone and everything feels so raw. And instead of the intense habit of trying to reconstruct what feels safe, all that is wanted is truth. To this I bow. It is a much deeper and matured place to sit than all of these ecstatic explosions of joy and love that have felt so boundless and untouched. when this maturation process is becoming close to completion, there is no movement to alter any single thing based on what feels good to my ego, what feels safe to my conditioning, what feels comforting as opposed to harsh. Because out of the heart of truth there is the recognition that no matter what is playing, it is all the hand of the beloved. And why would you want to alter that even slightly at any time? And whenever there is the tendency for that to arise, you recognize it is the doorway. And that is what you want. This is pure beauty. It is pure humility. It is the piece of fruit that is ready to fall from the tree. Except the fruit does not fall to the ground. It falls into the infinite. Every subtle way in which your mind pulls for something, the hunger shifts, not for that, but to expose and reveal everything that is wanted to remain hidden. It happens in its own time. There is such a wisdom in this journey, in this process. Every player, just like a nighttime dream, is a reflection of everyone. This is why I might be looking at mukti, but I'm speaking to you. What is symbolized by mukti and what is symbolized by deva are all aspects of you. There is only one self. And how sweet it is. You know, when one is making mashed potatoes, You throw a hard potato, all these separate hard potatoes in boiling water. And they slowly begin to soften. The heat softens the hardness. Until it has been cooked enough, and then they are ready to be mashed. After the mashing, the butter is put on, and there is something that is served commonly in the most celebratory holidays. It's all like that. What is being cooked, and when you are really ripe, like what is going on in Mukti now, being mashed, is just the box of suffering. And when it is complete, then the feast begins. And the devourer of the feast is the pure light of bliss, a bliss that you cannot possibly know until there is the readiness to be devoured.